$110 billion. Let that sit for a second. That's enough to give every single person in France $1,600 each. Every person. Cash in hand. Amazon alone dropped $50 billion into this round. $50 billion. Into one AI company. So the question isn't really about the number. The number is just the headline. The real question is, what does everyone expect to get back? What does this kind of money actually build? And what happens to every other AI company on the planet when OpenAI has this much fuel in the tank? That's what we're getting into today. Stick around. Hey, welcome back to Nuvox AI. If you're new here, glad you found us. We cover AI in a way that actually makes sense. No jargon, no hype, just real talk about what's happening and why it matters to you. And today's topic? It matters a lot. OpenAI just closed what might be the largest single funding round in the history of private tech companies. $110 billion. And before you think, okay cool, rich people doing rich people things, I want to show you why this one is different. Why it affects the tools you use every day. Why it changes the competitive map for the entire AI industry. And honestly, why some of the smartest people in tech are asking whether this is the foundation of something extraordinary, or the peak of something dangerous. Let's get into it. Section 1, OpenAI right now. First, let's just establish where OpenAI actually is before this money even hits the bank account. Because I think a lot of people underestimate how big this company already is. 900 million weekly active users. Think about that. Not monthly. Weekly. That's more than the entire population of Europe using ChatGPT or one of its products every single week. 50 million paid subscribers. People who are handing over their credit card every month because they need this tool in their life. That's not hype, that's product market fit at a scale most tech companies never come close to. Revenue? OpenAI is on track to hit somewhere around $13 billion this year. Last year it was closer to $3.5 billion. So you're looking at roughly 4 times growth in 12 months. That's not a startup anymore. That's a machine. And yet, and this is important, they're still burning through cash. A lot of it. Running these models is expensive. Training new ones is even more expensive. The compute costs alone are staggering. So even with that revenue, they needed more runway. More fuel. Which brings us to the round. Imagine you're running the world's most popular restaurant. Every table is full. There's a line out the door. But the kitchen equipment you need to keep up with demand costs 10 times what any normal restaurant would spend. That's OpenAI right now. Great business. Insane costs. And they just got a massive kitchen upgrade budget. Section 2, who invested and what they actually want. Okay, so this is the part one really want you to pay attention to. Because when you understand who put money in and why, the whole story gets a lot more interesting. Let's start with the biggest check in the room. Amazon. $50 billion. Now here's what makes this fascinating. Amazon is not just writing a check and hoping for the best. Part of this deal includes OpenAI building custom AI models specifically for Amazon Web Services. So Amazon isn't just an investor. They're a customer. They're a cloud partner. They want OpenAI's best work running on Amazon infrastructure. Think about what that means strategically. AWS is the backbone of the internet. Huge chunks of the web run on Amazon servers. If OpenAI's models are deeply integrated with AWS, Amazon gets to say, our cloud is where the best AI lives. That's a massive competitive advantage over Microsoft Azure and Google Cloud. This isn't charity. This is a chess move. Next up, Nvidia. Now Nvidia's number in this round is smaller, but don't let that fool you. Nvidia's angle here is almost poetic in its simplicity. OpenAI needs chips. Lots and lots of chips. Nvidia makes the chips. So Nvidia investing in OpenAI is like a gas station buying stock in a racing team. The more OpenAI grows, the more compute they need, the more GPUs they buy, the more money flows back to Nvidia. It's self-reinforcing. Nvidia already makes billions off AI demand. Having equity in the biggest AI company? That's just compounding the bet. Then there's SoftBank. If you know SoftBank's history, they backed Uber, WeWork, 100 other bets, you know their style. Go big or go home. SoftBank sees OpenAI as the defining technology company of this generation. Their founder Masayoshi Son has been talking about artificial superintelligence like it's an inevitability, not a hypothesis. For SoftBank, this isn't just a financial investment. It's a thesis about the future of human civilization, which is either visionary or terrifying depending on your mood. There are other investors in this round too, sovereign wealth funds, strategic partners, but the Amazon, Nvidia, SoftBank trio tells you everything you need to know. Nobody is doing this out of goodwill. Everyone expects something back. And that's not a criticism, that's just how this works. But it does shape what OpenAI builds next. Here's a way to think about it. Imagine 3 friends each give you money to start a restaurant. One friend owns the building and wants you to rent from them. One friend owns the food supply and wants you to buy from them. And one friend just genuinely thinks you're going to be the most famous chef alive. All 3 are in. All 3 want different things. And you have to make all 3 happy while also running the restaurant. That's OpenAI's job now. Section 3, what does $110 billion actually build? Alright. So the money is raised. What does it actually buy? The first and most obvious answer is compute. Infrastructure. Data centers. GPUs. This is the oxygen of modern AI. You cannot train a frontier model without massive amounts of computing power, and computing power is not cheap. We're talking about facilities that consume as much electricity as small cities. Cooling systems, fiber connections, redundant power, all of it. OpenAI, through its connection to the Stargate project, which we'll get to in a minute, is looking at building some of the most powerful AI infrastructure ever constructed on American soil. A chunk of this money goes directly toward that. Second, talent. The AI talent market right now is genuinely wild. The best AI researchers in the world can command salaries and equity packages that would make your head spin. We're talking about offers in the tens of millions for individual researchers. OpenAI needs to keep the people they have and attract more. This money helps them do that. Third, new models. GPT-4, GPT-4o, those are amazing. But the race to what comes next is relentless. Training a frontier model from scratch costs hundreds of millions of dollars in compute alone. This funding means OpenAI can run multiple training runs, explore different architectures, take bigger swings. GPT-5 is already being whispered about. This money accelerates that timeline. Fourth, and this one might surprise you, safety research. OpenAI has been under a lot of scrutiny about how seriously they take AI safety. Part of the pitch to investors, to regulators, to the public, is that they're spending real resources on alignment research. Understanding how to make these models behave the way humans intend. Whether you trust that commitment or not, money allocated to safety research is real. And with this much funding, there's no excuse not to do it. Fifth, new products and verticals. Healthcare AI. Legal AI. Scientific research tools. OpenAI has been expanding beyond the chat interface. This money funds those expansions. Think about what it means to have a well-funded AI system helping doctors diagnose diseases or helping scientists accelerate drug discovery. That's not science fiction. That's what this money is pointed at. I want to stop here for a second because sometimes these big numbers make everything feel abstract. So let me bring it back to you. If you use ChatGPT, this money means the product gets better, faster, more capable, more personalized, cheaper over time, potentially. The tools you're already building habits around are about to get a serious upgrade. Whether that's exciting or a little overwhelming probably depends on how you feel about AI in general. Both reactions are valid. Section 4. What this means for the competition. Okay. Here's where it gets really interesting. Because you can't talk about OpenAI getting $110 billion without talking about what that does to everyone else in the race. Let's start with Google. Google is not panicking, let's be clear about that. Google has DeepMind, they have Gemini, they have Search, they have YouTube, they have Android. They are not some scrappy underdog here. But here's the thing, Google's AI rollout has been rocky. They've had some embarrassing moments. And while they're internally capable of matching OpenAI on raw research, OpenAI is eating their lunch on product distribution and brand recognition. This funding round makes it harder for Google to close that gap quickly. Because OpenAI can now outspend almost anyone on model training, on marketing, on enterprise deals. Google still has advantages: their data, their search integration, their existing business relationships. But the pressure just went up significantly. Then there's Anthropic. This is an interesting one. Anthropic was founded by ex-OpenAI people. Their model Claude is genuinely excellent, a lot of developers actually prefer it for certain tasks. And Anthropic has raised serious money of its own, billions from Amazon and Google, ironically. But even so, $110 billion versus a few billion is a different game. Anthropic's bet is on safety-first AI that enterprises can trust. That's a real market. But OpenAI with this war chest can match Anthropic on safety messaging while also having 10 times the distribution. That's a tough position to be in. Meta and the